I'd love to get your perspective a little bit on your work behind the, or not really behind the scenes, in front of the camera. When you're interviewing players, you do a really good job, I think, like just like keeping it, keeping them engaged and keeping them like talking about things that are interesting, because it can be tough, I'm sure. What is your kind of, when you know you're like you're gonna go sit or have a talk with Novak Djokovic, like I saw you did at the US Open, or Bianca Andreescu, like what are your kind of thoughts going into it? What are your goals for the conversation? What do you kind of think about? Do you have set questions that you are going to ask? And then, yeah, just let us know a little bit about that.
Yeah, and especially when you're there in person with them, you can ask certain questions that I think the player will understand a little bit better than, say, on a Zoom. And that's the unfortunate part of our business right now, because so much of it is body language, and they can see, you're having fun with something where they're listening in an in an earpiece and thinking, what the hell is this guy going at here? Like sometimes it's lost. Yeah, there's so many different ways to attack it. And it's player to player. You know what you're going to get from certain players. I was lucky enough to interview Bianca 7 times on court at the US Open, because she won 7 matches, of course, and won that title. And believe me, it's a lot easier interviewing someone who's just won and is doing that. So as much as I like to take the credit, she's kind of providing the storyline there for her. But, I always think, what is she going to get asked during the main press session? And why waste asking the exact same question that they are. Now, if it's a huge story and there's an injury or something like that, I'm going to ask her and say, how is the ankle, or how is the knee? And, our viewers want to hear that, but, give me a little bit of the human aspect of things. I remember Bianca, she's playing Taylor Townsend in the 4th round, I believe. And there was one of the few times that the crowd was kind of, I don't want to say against Bianca, but there were a couple idiots in the crowd who were yelling during her serve, right? Because, she's playing an American.
Yeah. And
Bianca put the towel over her head, and she's sitting there, and, it's like, what's going on there? What are you saying to yourself? Like I'm trying to think of, the fan on their couch watching at home. What are they thinking as well? And a lot of times it can't just be, someone like you, Stephen, who knows the game so well. The US Open brings in my mom and my aunts and my uncles and my sister and brothers who don't maybe watch tennis all the time.
Right.
And they're suddenly thinking, and we overused it, but, Bianca had the little thing on her arm, people are asking that. And I know the tennis fans thinking, we have gone through this a million times, but is it a good luck charm? And she had fun with that and talking about the dog. But, one of the questions that ended up, and it always sticks out to me, after the quarterfinals with Bianca, was going past that plaque, the Billie Jean King quote, and pressure is a privilege. And, I said to her, every time you walk onto this court, you pass that quote. And as I'm saying the quote, she's mouthing the quote with me. And at that point, I thought, I got it. Like I've nailed it, because sometimes she easily could have been said, oh, I've never noticed it. I'm locked in. I'm listening to my music. Like, it doesn't really mean anything to me. So, sometimes you're taking a risk, and, and as things have gone on, that Bianca's taken more of she has more of a voice, I guess, and how Billie Jean King, like so many players, is a role model to her. So stuff like that. I'd rather hear about that than, your second serve was kind of, faltering there in the second set, like, and it's not that's not a part of the tennis story, but bring the viewer into what Bianca or whoever I'm interviewing is really experiencing there. And again, the way I'll talk to Bianca is different than Milos, and I've gotten to know Milos, and there's a huge comfort level because he's like the easiest guy to deal with, and Vasek same way. But Dennis is a little fiery, and maybe he doesn't want to. There might be a topic he doesn't want to talk about, and that's kind of have to play. You have to find that fine line with a player and what you can get the most out of them. But you're in Arthur Ashe Stadium. There's a million things going on. You also have to listen to them, and you got to listen to their answers. And they might give you something in that answer that you're thinking, "Whoa, okay, hold on a second, like." You didn't sleep last night, or you had treatment for 5 hours. Like what's going on? And you can't just blow past that because you've written down another question that you got to get in.